You've probably heard that to get citizenship in Portugal, you need to sit a language exam. Oh! This is a true story, and I know that it freaks a lot of you out. So in this video today, I'm going to give you some more information about what the exam is so you can feel more prepared when the time comes to take it. There is very little information on this exam available online, and since this channel, Talk the Streets, is all about getting you set up correctly with Portuguese language, I figured it was time that I tackled this topic. So give this video a like if you are excited for this lesson today, and if you're not yet subscribed, make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified every time I publish new content. So what is the exam? It's called the Ciple exam, and that stands for Certificado Inicial de Português Língua Estrangeira. And you can actually sit the exam all over the world, not just in Portugal. So the level that it is testing is an A2 level. So here's the first confusing part. What does A2 even mean? Well, in Europe we have a common framework for languages, and it goes like this. A1 and A2 is beginner, B1 and B2 is intermediate, and C1 and C2 is advanced. So you can already see here you're going for an A2 level, which isn't crazy advanced, okay? I actually describe it as a basic conversational level. The description the Council of Europe gives as the A2 level is someone who can understand sentences and frequently used expressions related to areas of most immediate relevance. For example, very basic personal and family information, shopping, local geography, and employment. It's someone who can communicate in simple and routine tasks, requiring a simple and direct exchange of information on familiar and routine matters. It's also someone who can describe in simple terms aspects of his or her background, immediate environment, and matters in area of immediate need. So to translate that very formal description, it's essentially somebody who can manage in their day-to-day interactions, asking questions, understanding responses, and being able to talk about themselves. Does that make it sound less scary? I hope so. So what does the exam entail? Well, it's split into 3 sections that you will sit all on the same day. The first exam is reading comprehension and writing. This lasts for an hour and a half, and you're going to have to read short texts and then answer multiple choice questions about the texts that you have read. Now, in terms of how to prepare, these are all going to be things that you're going to actually need to read and understand as a citizen in Portugal. So these might be things like adverts, informational posters, timetables, letters, for example. There's usually always something about applying for a job or obtaining some kind of document, so you can prepare for those scenarios as well. The writing part also isn't as scary as it sounds. You're going to have to produce 2 short texts, one very short that could be just a post-it note or a text message, and one that is a little bit longer, so a longer letter or email to a friend, for example. So you're going to be given the situation for the writing task and told what you need to include. Now here's the really important part. At an A2 level, it's expected that you're going to make some mistakes with your spelling and your grammar. What you're actually being tested on is whether the message you are giving across is accurate and is what you've been asked to do. So there cannot be a miscommunication where you relay incorrect facts. So think about being tested on the content and the message of what you are writing rather than all of the technicalities of Portuguese. But with that said, of course, you're going to want to do your best. You don't want to include any spelling or grammar mistakes. So my best advice for you here is to just keep it simple. Stick to what you know, and remember you're being tested on whether you can get the right information across. You get no points for overcomplicating it. Are you planning to take the Ciple exam? If you are, I'm hosting 2 live workshops next week where I'm going to be going into a lot more detail about this and helping you to prepare. So if you want to join me, the link to sign up will be in the description. I'd love to see you there. The second part of the exam is the listening. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is probably the trickiest part of the whole exam, and you're going to need to do lots of listening practice in order to prepare for it. This section lasts 30 minutes and you will hear short texts twice and again have to answer multiple choice questions about what you have just heard. The good thing is that you will be able to read the questions before you hear the text. They should give you time to do that. So my advice is to read the question and all of the options super carefully so that when you are listening out, you can listen for keywords, you can make notes on your question sheets, you can cross out the ones that you really don't think that it is to start a process of elimination. For a whole video on how to do listening practice, you can check out this video. It will be linked in the description. Now, be warned, they will try and trick you by putting words into the answers that have been mentioned in the text, but they may not necessarily be the correct answer. So you really need to be able to listen, understand, and also interpret the information correctly. There's also a section where you will listen to people speak and you have to match it to the location where you think it's happening. So for example, the airport or the post office. Again, they're all relating to practical day-to-day situations that you yourself will have found yourself in. At the end of the listening exam, you are given 5 minutes to transfer all of your answers onto the answer sheet. So as I say, make good use of your question sheet, of taking notes and things like that, because you are going to have time to do a neat version at the end by filling in the multiple choice answers. Also make sure that you listen to the text twice. It is going to be played twice, and even if you think, oh, I got that, I know the answer, still listen carefully because you might have been tricked, okay? So make sure that you are really sure of your answers and pay attention to that second playing of the text. The final section is speaking, your favorite. So this lasts about 15 minutes, and earlier on in the day, you'll have been given the information about where to go and what time your actual speaking session is. So 2 people will go in at a time, and there will be an examiner there, and you'll literally just have to have a chat. Remember, this is an A2 level test, so you're going to need to be able to talk about things like who you are, where you're from, your day-to-day routine, your day-to-day life in Portugal, for example. So although that I can't predict what your examiner is going to ask you, being prepped with those kind of things and being really confident with talking about yourself is going to be really helpful here. If you are somebody who is doing weekly speaking practice, that is one of the surefire ways to set yourself up for success. And you can also make sure that you're doing a bit of speaking practice in the gap that you have between the written tests and the speaking tests so that you can really start to get yourself into the zone. So that is a full breakdown of the Ciple exam. Don't forget to check the description where I have left some really useful links for you to help you prepare. And I hope to see you next week because I will be breaking down exactly what happened when I went to sit the exam a couple of months ago. So it will be full of really useful information. I hope I see you there. Ciao for now, pessoal!